Good afternoon. Come on, good afternoon. Much better. All right, let's talk about some products. If you can hear, they're mixing up the self-leveler back there. Why are they mixing up self-leveler? Surface prep, surface prep, surface prep. The flatter the floor is, the easier the install is. It's that simple. We are MAPEI. We've been in business 81 years. In the United States, we make over 500 products. Worldwide, we make over 5,000 products. We are a big mom and pop company, and I mean big, but we're still a privately held company. Same family has owned the company now for 3 generations. So when you make a product, you're making a product with someone's reputation on the line. You're not making a product for a division of a board of directors. You're not making a product for someone who's never been in the business before. There are people that now own this company that were born into this business. The day they were born, this was their destiny. They allow me to have their faith in their hands with their products. That's an honor for me. So, a few things. When you have a floor, especially with these larger tiles that are out there, it's gotten to the point now where you have to pour self-levelers. It just is. It's just the way it is. You have to bid it into the job. Forget how you've been doing it for the last 10 years. I hear that, I can screed a floor, or no, you can't screed a floor nearly as fast as you can pour self-levelers once you understand how to use them. I've been doing it this way for 15 years. Really? Pull that thing out. That's my cell phone. It's also my personal computer. 15 years ago, it didn't look like that. 20 years ago, it was a brick with an antenna on it and you had a crank handle. All right, technology changes every 6 months. And the same thing's true in our business. Gentlemen, if you would please. You want to go ahead and put up large panels, large thin panels. If you want to go ahead and put up and have an easy installation, do the hard work up front. Don't do it while you're installing. You got to remember, when you put down a piece of tile, it's the finish. It's supposed to be the finished floor. I don't want to spend a third of my job cleaning up a mess on something because I had too much mortar underneath it, or I had a whoopty and I had to pull up 3 tiles or stick shims underneath that. Fix the floor first. So what product is this, Scott?
Ultraplan Extreme.
Ultraplan Extreme, an interior, exterior grade self-leveler. Here's what that means. All the other self-levelers, I need the air conditioner or the heating on. I don't with this one. 40 degrees to 90 degrees, I'm good. Windows aren't in, I'm okay, as long as it doesn't get rained on the first day. After that, it can get rained on or snowed on. It's an interior, exterior grade product. Well, why is that an advantage? Advantage number 1, on large buildings, I get to get in front of my crew. So my guys aren't waiting for the surface prep to be done. I have a crew in front of me on floors that aren't even finished yet, and they're prepping that floor. Number 2, when I get a call from the contractor to show up to go do that work, guess what? Yeah, I'm waiting for that change order to be sent in, and we'll be good. You get paid. A lot of the surface prep that we get jammed doing that contractors, GCs don't do, we don't get paid for it half the time. This will allow you to go ahead and get paid. Gerald, if you would, please.
Planet top 330 fast.
Planet top 330 fast. So if we're gonna have a crooked floor, we're gonna have a flat floor, and now we're gonna go up the wall with the tile. We all know how well they set block on buildings. They're always perfectly square, and it's always perfectly true every single time. Every job I ever been on has been that way. No. Again, I don't want the installer fixing it with mud. I want them fixing it with a product that's designed to do that. This goes from 1/8 of an inch to 1 1/4 inches. In 90 minutes, 1 hour and a half, I can set tile on top of this. So I can, again, have my guys go in front of me, get this done, interior, exterior grade again. So I don't need the air conditioner on. I don't need the heat on. I can get in front of the job, get it fixed, get the walls trued up, get it squared up, and be good to go. So now we're fixing the floor and we're fixing the walls. This is important. This is fiber reinforced. You get a chance, you can see it up close. There's little tiny fibers inside of there. That's what's locking it down in place. That's what's helped holding it in place. Trowels on really easy, smooths out. Doesn't have to be perfect or beautiful, but it has to be flat. Once it's flat, let the mortar do its job. You know, all the time here in the United States, I hear people say, oh, well, you know, in other countries, they don't do it right. Well, let me tell you something about other countries. Their slabs are always torn open. They're very porous and open, and they rarely have bond issues because they can go ahead and all those pits and nooks and crannies in that slab and get in here. Here in the United States, we want to polish everything silky smooth, and then we expect the bond to it. You want to go ahead and have kind of some texture. Shortest distance between 2 points. Anybody? Straight line. So if I have texture on there, I actually have more surface area on the bond line, which means I have a stronger bond on an area that has a little bit of texture. Go ahead, screed the wall off, make it flat. Now I want to give my ladies, my friends, a shout out from Quote Countertops. You get a chance, stop on by, see their booth. Ladies, say hi to everybody. Thank you very much. I have friends all over the show. What can I say? What Gerald has done there is absolutely what we need. Now, this will dry in an hour and a half, and we can go ahead and install tile. Speaking of installing tile, you got that?
I do. I got it.
Oh, I got it. You keep going. We're going to install a large thin tile. What product are we going to use for that, Gerald?
We're going to use the S2
Ultralight S2 mortar was, I have a hard time saying this word, so I got to think about it. Specifically, some words just trip you up. That one really gets me every time. It was originally designed for large thin tiles, or heavy gauge tiles, is that what we're calling them now? Yeah, the thin ones that are big. It was designed for that. That's what, how, if you understand the ISO codes, who understands the ISO codes? Ah, see that? So you look, we go by the ANSI standards here in the United States, but we also go by the ISO codes. You guys just don't ask enough questions about them. Look on the bags of, let's just say, a MAPEI product, and you're going to see a series of numbers and letters. Those series of numbers and letters are going to better help you identify what that product does and when to use it. So when you go, why do you have so many mortars? Well, if you understood the ISO codes, you could go, it's an exterior project, I have large tile, it needs to be fast setting. You could look at the codes and tell that that was the product for that. You get a chance, stop on by, I'll better explain the ISO codes. By the way, in the TCNA handbook, the ISO codes are right in here next to the ANSI codes. So this tells me you're not reading the book. Because nobody went, what the heck are those things right there? I'll tell you even a scarier thought. We've been putting the ISO codes on our packaging for 12 years. Nobody ever once stopped and went, dude, what's with the weird letters and numbers on the bag? Now, I know men mostly do this for a living, and as men, we don't read instructions. So I know you were just looking at the fancy cubes on the bottom of the bag. Brings me to my next point, guys. Please, flip that bag around. My products come in 4 languages, English, Spanish, French, and man pictures. We have universal man pictures on the back for all languages. I don't care where you're from. As a man, you will be able to understand the cute little stick figures that we drew on the back there and follow these stick figures. If it calls for 6 quarts of water, we put 6 quarts of water in there. You are not smarter than the person who invented the product. The magic is in the bag, in their bag, in their bag, in everyone's bag. We all have top-notch scientists that do this for a living, that work for us. Let them trust them. They have PhDs in things that we don't even understand. Trust me, if somebody's telling you 5 quarts of water, that's how much. One of my most horrifying moments happened recently in a YouTube video when a gentleman said that he was a DIYer. And he's never poured self-leveler before, but he's going to show you how. And the first thing he said was, you don't need to follow the instructions. They don't tell you to put enough water in there, so just put more water in there. And I was like, no, follow the instructions. People know, they know how much water requires to activate the cement particles, to activate the latex, to activate the chemicals in there that make the product special. Follow the instructions, please, please. You guys ready? 1, 2, 3, go. And we're walking, and we're walking, and we're walking. This product, this mortar was specifically designed for large thin tile. This is a small panel. I didn't want to have a big giant wall and have all that going on. If you want to see that, by the way, Thursday, there'll be a thin tile presentation, a 2-hour thin tile presentation, co-sponsored with a tile manufacturer, a thin set manufacturer, and a tool manufacturer. So you'll get the complete package on how to install thin tiles. S2, the S2 rating means it's highly flexible. It's one of the few products that meet the S2 rating that is a single component, which means you add water to it. I asked somebody one time, why did we get away from 2-component systems? And they said, well, because people weren't pouring all of the jug in the bucket and mixing it with all the powder. And I went, so that same person's actually gonna go measure the water and pour that. I can get a 6-year-old to unscrew the jug and pour it in a bucket. I'm not sure I can get him to pour out 6 quarts or 5 quarts of water, but that's where we're at. On a side note, for the guys that run crews, make a smart bucket. Go get a jug, measure out if it's 6 quarts, measure out 6 quarts, drill a hole where the water line's at with a 1-inch paddle bit. That prevents it from becoming a mixing bucket. Now you just put water in there till it comes out the hole, and then you pour it in. Every single time you'll get the same mix. Some things you don't want installers thinking. I want installers thinking about installing, not did I put 6 quarts or 5.5 quarts in there. This is not their forte. It's a reason they think this is a good idea, crawling around on the floor, putting big tiles down. This is where they gravitate towards. Make it easy for them. Give them quality product. Give them quality tools, and you will get a quality job every single time. One more time, S2 mortar. Planetop 330 fast for wall screeds and renders, making the walls, the corners square, ramping up floors, interior, exterior grade, and finally, Extreme 2, a self-leveler. Imagine putting a floor on top of that. It's like a sheet of glass. You're gonna use less mortar, you're gonna have less problems, it's going to be right every single time, full contact. Any questions? Can a planting patch be used as a wall mud? The answer is yes, but it's a skim coat. You gotta remember, planting patch is really designed to be a thin application. So if I had a little whoopty in the floor, I could use planting patch. However, theoretically, I should have the AC on or the heat on. I come from South Florida where we did a lot of condo work. It's a good thing and a bad thing. The good thing is you got the whole condominium. The bad thing is they give you 5 floors at a time. They don't let you do the whole darn building. So now I could get guys in front of me before they got the windows and doors in on the 15th floor when I'm on the 5th floor doing the prep work here. Any other questions? This looks like a really good year. I want everyone to go out and do good work. Make money, don't underbid yourself, my gosh. And one more thing, everybody, if you're not using my product, give us an opportunity to show you why you should be using our product. And if you are, thank you for your business. Time is one thing you can never get back. Thank you for sharing it with us. On behalf of the demo team, maybe the best darn demo team in the country, I want to thank you on behalf of MAPEI. Thank you very much. You guys are awesome.